Welcome back to some new r/PettyRevenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Door Slammer. I live in a place where the lounge has two doors, both with latches that don't quite work right. My landlord's mom, who spends most of her time watching soap operas on the sofa, has developed a rather amusing and frustrating ritual. Every time she comes back into the room, she insists the doors need to be fully shut. Instead of closing them gently, she slams them. The funny part? Slamming one door usually causes the other to pop open, because of air pressure. But rather than figuring this out, she keeps going back and forth, slamming each door over and over until they both stay shut. This can go on for 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes at the oddest hours of the day and night. What makes it even more entertaining is that the main door she uses is the one furthest from her favorite spot on the sofa. So every failed attempt has her pacing back and forth, like she's in some kind of door slamming marathon. After a while, I decided to have a little fun. I added a tiny bit of hot glue to the door latches, just enough to make them tricky to close, unless you press them gently and carefully, which, let's just say, isn't her style. Now, every time she slams her door, it's even easier for the other one to pop open. Here's where it gets really entertaining. After she's finally settled back down on the sofa, I crack open a window to create a small change in air pressure. Without fail, one of the doors pops open, and she has to start her whole door slamming routine all over again. To top it off, she hasn't figured out how to use playback apps for her soap operas. So every time she's up dealing with the doors, she misses parts of her shows. At this point, her day is less about relaxing and more about managing her ongoing door drama. Watching this unfold has turned into some of the best entertainment I've had in ages. Sure, the slamming is annoying, but seeing her turn into a dedicated door wrangler is totally worth it. The next story is called At a Concert. I was at an outdoor rock concert for a pretty popular local band. The crowd was packed and we were all standing, enjoying the show. Then, out of nowhere, a very light rain starts. Just a couple of drops, nothing major. Well, a woman in the crowd decided to open an umbrella, completely blocking the view for about 50 or 60 people behind her. Since we were all packed in close, moving to a different spot wasn't really an option. People started booing, and some even tried to nudge her umbrella, but she refuses to close it. I'm a tall guy, and she was about 5'6". I stepped right in front of her, fully blocking her view. I could hear her getting upset and complaining to her boyfriend. He said, "Well, he kind of has a point. This is what you are doing to the people behind us." That made me smile. They talked for a minute or two, and then the boyfriend turned to me and said, "Okay, can you move? She'll close the umbrella." Sure enough, she put the umbrella down. The rain stopped quickly, and the rest of the show went smoothly for everyone. The third story is called Supermarket Revenge. My boyfriend went to the supermarket today. Before he left, he asked if there was anything I wanted, and I said I was really craving croissants. When he got to the supermarket, he headed to the meat section first. There was a big family taking up the entire area he needed, and another person was already waiting as well. He politely said, "Excuse me," but they didn't move much and seemed to slow down even more. After he waited longer than necessary, he decided to grab the other items on his list and come back later. When he returned to the meat aisle, the same family was still there. So he waited again and even let the other person go first, staying polite. After that, he only had my croissants left to go. He went to the bread section, but unfortunately they were out. Remembering there's sometimes a rack of croissants near the front, he headed there. That's when he saw the same family again, this time blocking a large section of the aisle, making it difficult for anyone to get by. Determined, he took a different route to the shelf, only to watch them grab the very last bag of croissants. At this point, feeling frustrated, but not wanting to go all the way around again, He carefully squeezed past them, snacking the bag of croissants as he walked by, and headed straight to the checkout. Normally I wouldn't condone something like this. It's a bit of a breach of supermarket etiquette, but in this case I think he was totally justified. The last story is called Uni Assignment. In my major there's a guy I call P. P is known for not putting in much effort when it comes to assignments, and doesn't have the best reputation academically or socially. He's more of a loner, not the quiet genius kind, but more like someone who struggles and doesn't try to collaborate with others. One of our professors is notorious for being a tough grader, rarely giving A's. This professor assigned us a group project that involved writing a paper and presenting it as part of our final assignment. The stakes were high. This project accounted for 40% of our grade, and failing the project pretty much meant failing the class. We were allowed to choose our group members, so I teamed up with 2 reliable people I knew and one of their friends. We worked diligently on the paper and presentation over 3 months. By the time the deadline was just a few days away, we had finished everything and submitted it, feeling relieved that we were done. But on the day of the deadline, P contacted one of our group members, asking when we were planning to start the project. The group member forwarded P's messages to our group chat, and we were all shocked. We didn't even know he was supposed to be part of our group. I reached out to the TA, and it turned out that a smaller group had been dissolved about 2 months earlier, and its members were reassigned to other groups. P had been added to ours, but no one informed us. The TA initially thought we had excluded P on purpose, assuming it was a case of bullying because he's a loner. Frustrated, I explained the situation to the TA and forwarded the screenshots of P's messages, showing that he'd only contacted us on the day of the deadline. After reviewing everything, the TA decided P should be added to our group chat. Once P joined, he immediately started demanding a topic to present. This led to arguments, because every topic had already been assigned, and the members who had worked on those topics weren't willing to give them up. The TA suggested that P research a new topic to add to the presentation, which would at least give him some points. P wasn't happy with this. He argued with the TA, insisting it was unfair that he'd miss out on the paper score, the larger portion of the grade, and that he had to do extra work. Things escalated when P threatened to report the TA and the group to the administration, accusing us of bullying him. The TA had had enough at this point. She shared screenshots of her conversation with P and forwarded them to me. True to his word, P reported us to the administration. We were contacted to explain the situation, so I provided the screenshots from our group chats in other classes, showing that P had never mentioned the assignment until the very last moment. After reviewing everything, the administration ruled that it was up to us whether to include P's name in the project. We unanimously decided not to include him. Fast forward to the next semester. I noticed P wasn't in any of my classes. Curious, I asked the administration and found out that P had failed most of his classes the previous semester and had to sit out for a term to retake them. So at least for this semester, I won't be seeing P in any of my classes. And honestly, it's a relief. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.